Hello and welcome to the Daily Mill for Saturday, the 11th of March 2023. In today's Millwall news, it was match day and we won. We got our 7th away win of the season at Reading. And this is the match report from millfc.co.uk. Andreas Vogelsammer's penalty kick secured a 1-0 win for Millwall at Reading on Saturday afternoon. The German converted his second goal of the season in the first half as the Lions registered a 7th away victory of the campaign. Gary Rowett made one change to his starting 11 for the Sky Bet Championship trip to the Select Car Leasing Stadium as Vogelsammer replaced Oliver Burke. Jamie Shackleton, meanwhile, returned from illness to take a place on the substitute bench. With mere seconds played, George Saville was the first Millwall man to pull the trigger, but his effort from 30 yards out sailed wide off the post. From there, the Royals pushed for an over but failed to trouble George long, and with 11 minutes on the clock, the Lions were in front from the penalty mark. After Zion Fleming was brought down by Joe Lumley, clean for on goal, referee Michael Salisbury pointed to the spot, allowing Vogelsammer to step up and produce a powerful hit into the top corner. Jake Cooper then headed towards the 6-yard box as Mills tails were up. But February 2023 EFL Sky Bet Championship Player of the Month, John Bradshaw could not direct the ball towards goal, with the striker also straining his neck to reach a Danny McNamara cross at the midway point of the half that he could only nod wide. With a lack of clear-cut chances from there, however, Salisbury blew for half-time with the Lions in front. Both sides spent the opening 15 minutes of the second half probing for an opening, but to no avail. The Royals' combination of giving away needless fouls and being unable to retain possession was irking the home crowd, and their misery was almost compounded just after the hour mark when a Vogelsammer cross was deflected towards goal, but no finishing touch could be provided. After dealing with some pressure, a Lions breakaway was stopped just outside the penalty area as Bradshaw looked for the run of George Honeyman, whilst at the other end Tom Mintz could only blaze over the crossbar from the edge of the box. Sean Hutchinson and Burke were introduced into play with just under 15 minutes to go, as fresh legs were required, and the latter of those took Fleming's reverse pass into stride straight away, but opted to take his man on instead of finding a free McNamara on the other side of the box. Bradshaw thrashed an attempt wide of the near post as time began to tick away, before Fleming did the same on the other side, but that mattered not as the Lions claimed win number 7 on the road. And the Millwall team was as follows: Long, McNamara, Cooper, Cresswell, Wallace, Vogelsammer, Fleming, Honeyman, Saville, Leonard and Bradshaw. And the subs were Hutchinson on for Vogelsammer on the 78th minute and Burke on for Honeyman on the 78th minute as well. And the unused substitutes will be Biakovsky, Malone, Shackleton, S8, Watmore. So there you go. That is the match report from the official club website. To be honest with you, it wasn't the best of games. I don't think George Long had a save to make. I don't think Reading had a shot on goal. Mill didn't have that many shots of their own, to be honest with you. It was a pretty poor match to watch. But we just about edged it. Now, if we didn't get that penalty, would we have scored? I'm not too sure. Maybe we might have done. But, you know, I think it was a penalty. Although there is some debate whether it was outside the area, but what can you do? Charlie Cresswell, absolutely brilliant today. He brings a kind of physicality that I think we needed today to deal with Andy Carroll, and which I don't think Hutch would have brought, but Charlie Cresswell did very well today up against Andy Carroll, and that was the defining situation. If they couldn't get their balls off of Andy Carroll working, they weren't really going to do much, and they didn't, and Millwall got the win. So there you go. Now moving on to this from southwarknews.co.uk. It's their match report, but we are not going to read that because I just read the match report. We're going to go to the takeaways. So Voggy's confidence boost. Tom Bradshaw's Iron Fleming could have taken Millwall in the 10th minute to give themselves a better chance in the battle for the Golden Boot. Instead, it was given to Andreas Vogelsammer for his second goal of the season. Supporters thought his strike against Watford could start Olympic scoring run, but it hasn't worked out that way. However, his penalty against Reading certainly given him a confidence boost heading into the final week of the season, where the Lions will need all the support that they can get. Doing it the hard way, Millwall won, but they can't keep playing on the edge as they have been. The Lions needed a second goal today, but they didn't get it. The same happened against Cardiff City and Stoke City, and they were in a similar situation against QPR too. These sorts of performances will only get them so far. Winning against the odds can only be so sustainable in the playoff race. Agree and disagree. I mean, wouldn't it be great if we could just play absolutely amazing and smash teams every week? Yeah, it would, but we're not. If we did that, we would be in the top two. We'd probably be winning the league, and we're not. So we've got to do what we can do. We've got to get through the game, get through the obstacles that's in our way. And today that was Andy Carroll and the Reading team, and we did what we needed to do, and we got the win. So that's how it was done. Now, could we have attacked a bit more? Could we have risked it a bit more to get that second goal? Probably, yeah, but then we would have opened ourselves up to drawing. So, winning 1-0 away from home, I'll take that all day long. Back where they belong. While Norwich City can knock Millwall back out of the top six with a win against Sunderland, the Lions are firmly in the race. So it doesn't say that we're back in the playoffs. They don't say that there. We are, I think, sixth. So with winnable games at the Den coming up, there's a real chance to show the rest of the division what they are capable of. A healthy lead going to the international break would be huge. For now, taking each game as it comes is the only important bit. But this is the position you want to be in. We want to be in a position where we've got the points in the bag and we're in the position of the playoffs. Now Norwich, they've got a game in hand. They're at home against Sunderland. I think, well, all we've got to do is win this game, and then we're back. They can be back in the playoffs. It doesn't work like that. It's ifs and buts. We're not ifs and buts. We're there in the place. So we could say, well, if Norwich don't win, happy days. But again, that's where we need to be. We need to be in front this time. Not like last season, where the last day of the season we were 7th and we needed to win. We needed all these different combination of results to go our way. We need to be in the playoffs, absolutely certain going into that last day of the game, either knowing what we need to do or to already be guaranteed, which probably won't be. I think it might go down to that last game of the season because it is very tight at the top and not tight at all at the bottom. So there you go. Let's get into some of the post-match comments from the manager. This is from southwarknews.co.uk as well. Gary Rowett reacts as Millwall edge past Reading in tight 1-0 win. George Long didn't have to make a single save as the Lions moved back into the top 6 with a narrow victory. Gary Rowett admitted that his side needed to use the ball better in their 1-0 win against Reading, but added that he was delighted by their work ethic that helped them move back into the playoff places. The Lions secured a narrow victory thanks to Andreas Vogelson's first half penalty, but Royals never really managed to muster a response and failed to register a single shot on target, with the visitors' backline standing tall after some late pressure. So they didn't have a shot on target. Now, they were the home team. So to do that to a team at home, that's 2 thumbs up. While it was far from a classic matchup or performance from Rowett, many was pleased to see his side grind out yet another positive result that takes him closer to realising a dream of a top 6 finish. I think the hard bit at this stage of the season is that, wrongly, people expect you to come somewhere like this and just win because you're in and around the top 6, he said after the game. Reading have got one of the best home records. Hey, you think he watches my videos? I think Paul, he's done a really, really good job, and they're a tough side to play against. You knew that they would bounce back from a couple of tough results. I thought we started quite well to get the goal. It's a good bit of play, good transition, a bit of good quality on the transition that gets us out.
Zion does really, really well, and obviously he gets brought down. I think there was a question mark. It was so close. Is it on the line? Is it an inch inside? Is it an inch outside? I couldn't really answer, but I know that we'll probably get a little bit of the rub of the green with that decision.
Yeah, thank God we don't have VAR in this league. Yeah?
Then Voggy takes a penalty, and it's brilliant, brilliant finish. He said to me, I'm German. What do you expect? Of course I'm going to score. So there was a bit of banter from Voggy, but it was a fabulous penalty, and we waited a long time for one. It's a brilliant finish, bit of power, great direction in top corner, making it impossible to save. A lot of games have been similar. My only bugbear was that perhaps we made the game a bit harder than it needed to be by not using the ball well enough. I thought we were really solid and dealt with Carroll really well. But by playing on Cressy's side, they perhaps thought they could bully him a little bit. But I thought we dealt with it fantastically well. For as much as Cressy took a few knocks, he probably gave Carroll a few more of himself. I thought it was real, honest battle, and we limited him to a very few shots on goal. The same goes for Reading in general. I don't think they had too many shots on goal in that game. They had a bit of pressure in the spell where the wing backs started putting balls in the box, where you start to say, wow, we might have to go to a back five and soak it up. The big thing for me is that in the second half, we actually used the ball a bit better. And that was the key. We passed the ball a little bit better and got ourselves into a much better positions. For me, that took the sting out of Reading's attack as much as a good defensive platform we've always got.
So yes, there you go. Gary knows what's up, and a nice bit of banter from Voggy there, saying he's a German. He knows how to take a penalty, and more on that later. It's expanded on in another story. Gary explains final stages of Reading win if Millwall survive late scares. So again from southernnews.co.uk. I hope they're not repeating themselves here. By the way, is this going to be new information? Garrett was afraid that his side could not make the final stages of their 1-0 win against Reading more comfortable with a late 3-on-1 opportunity. He was delighted to grind out yet another big result on the road. Nonetheless, Frouts men held on to secure 3 points at the Matchday Stadium. Oh, it's not the Matchday Stadium. Is it called the Matchday Stadium? But then it's got the sponsor's name on it. I thought it wasn't called that. I thought Majewski was like a sponsorship term. Maybe, albeit that it may have been harder than they would have hoped in the end. We had a spell where I think we made the 2 substitutions with 15 or 20 minutes to go, the manager said after the game. We got to the point where, because of the size of Reading and because of the amount of players they had of stature, we couldn't really make any more changes. It was always going to be a set piece or ball in the box. It was going to be the way they score. So I was limited towards the end in terms of the energy, and the likes of Bradders had to stay on. He looked gassed, and I probably think Berkey chose the wrong side to pass to. If it had found Flem, maybe he would have a little bit more energy at that point. We had a couple of good transitions, I think. We could have probably made the game a little easier. It was always going to be whether we could get our clean sheet. We haven't had too many clean sheets away from home. I thought defensively and overall for the away team to not really concede too many chances, you have to say that's a really good away performance. In terms of managers, from what I've gathered in my footballing viewing over the many years that I've been on this earth, that managers love 1-0s. They absolutely love winning 1-0. They don't want to grind up the result. They want that kind of performance where the opposition doesn't have a shot on target and everything's neat and controlled. We just get the result done 1-0. That was kind of the motif on the George Graham at Arsenal, and that's most managers are like that. They would love a 1-0. Obviously, if you're winning 1-0 and it's a bit shaky, you're under constant pressure. It's a bit nerve-wracking because then one mistake and it ends up 1-1. So a lot of them do want 2-0, but I think a lot of them, they are very, very happy with a 1-0, with everyone doing the job that they're supposed to do on the pitch, and it's all happy days. They don't want any renegades. Like they don't want someone just doing what they want to do on the pitch and then scoring a hat trick. And it's like, well, you were supposed to do this, mark this player, do this, but instead you're playing like Maradona and just doing what you want, but you scored a hat trick. So managers don't really like that. They want you to do what you've been told to do. But hey, there you go. So here we go with the Armour German. This is from londonnewsonline.co. londonnewsonline.co.uk, the South London Press's online website. I'm German. I was always going to score my spot kick. Millwall match winner Vogelsammer's post-game comment. Gary Rowett felt that his Mill side got a little bit of fortune with their penalty that settled today's match at Reading. Andres Vogelsammer's first half spot kick. Yeah, we know all that. Now the attention will shift to Norwich's home game against Sunderland tomorrow. City can move back above the Lions if they take all 3 points. Both teams created very little at the Select Car Leasing Stadium. It's the first time in Mill's history that they have won 3 league matches straight at the Royals' home. Yeah, I think someone's been watching the videos. Hello, how are you doing? Rowett said, pardon me, the hard bit at this stage of the season is that people wrongly expect you to come to places like this and just win. This is the same quote as I read before. I'm not going to repeat myself. I don't read these generally before I start recording. Yeah, it's the same as the one we just read, so fair enough. Sorry for that. Anyway, there you go. Some lovely pictures to see though. The referee looks kind of a bit upset. I don't know. Now, moving on to a comment from Reading manager Paul Ince. Mill do the basics right. Reading boss Ince on defeat to Championship playoff chasers. Reading manager Paul Ince praised Mill's defensive resilience as they ground out a 1-0 win in Berkshire this afternoon. A poor pass by former Charlton defender Naby Sarr was punished by Millwall. Tom Bradshaw's pass sent Zion Fleming through on goal with Royals stopper Joe Lumley bringing the Dutch attacker down right on the edge of the box. One mistake, said Ince, when asked what went wrong. That's the bottom line. It was always going to be a scruffy game because that is what Millwall make it. I said to the players that the last thing you want to do is give a team like Millwall a goal because all they do is defend for their lives. That's exactly the way the game went. We lose the ball, we're in an uncomfortable position, don't do enough, and give the penalty away. That's why we lost the game. There was nothing else about it. It was a horrible game. They make it that way, and the ref doesn't help. Stop starting it. We didn't have a shot on target, which is not like us at home. Second half, we were in the ascendancy and looked like the other team that was going to score. We were just not getting a rub of the green, not gambling enough in the box, or the quality of the cross not good enough. It was a game I expected. It was never going to be a classic. I told the players that they aren't any better than you, that's for sure. And they are 5th in the league because they do the basics right. They get the goal like they did a couple of weeks ago when they had the one shot on target at Stoke, and then they defend for their lives, and they defended for their lives very well. We made a mistake against Sheffield United on Tuesday and then another one today. It's not like they cut us open. Every time we make a mistake, we seem to get punished. We played 2 teams in the top 6 who have not been better than us, far from it. We haven't come away with anything from the games. That's disappointing. They do the basics right for a longer period of time. That's what happens when you've got good players. They don't do it week in and week out. We seem to have these little slips where we do stupid things and we get punished for them. What? You what? To be honest, I think he's got a point because I think our only shot on target was the penalty. So this really was kind of a bit of a crap game, to be honest. But I mean, like, you didn't have a shot on target. Like, why do you think that's it? Why do you think that is, mate? Because we defended and stopped you from doing that. That's what defending is. So, and if you knew that was going to happen, why didn't you change it? Why didn't you go 5 up front? 2-3-5, do something. Like, you're the manager, manage it. But there you go. But yeah, kind of weirdly, but like I said, they had a better home record than us, and our record is very good. And we didn't let them have a shot on target all game, which is absolutely fantastic. Now, so obviously the rest of the results in the league didn't really help us out. Didn't really go our way this week. Maybe they will on Tuesday or next Saturday, but this week they certainly didn't. In terms of the teams up the top, or there or thereabouts, we got West Brom beating Huddersfield 1-0. That's not good. We got QPR beating Watford 1-0. Kind of good, but Watford, they bubbled off a bit, and they're not, they're quite far down now. We got Burnley beating Wigan, not really concerning us. Burnley are up and away. This is the big one. Sheffield United losing 1-0 at home to Luton. We probably really want Sheffield United to start winning games. Beating Luton, I think they got to play Blackburn and Middlesbrough, but they lost. So, but then you think, turn it on its head, if they keep losing, then they'll drop down. They've probably got enough to keep going on to stay in the playoffs, but if we get them in the playoffs and they're a bit, you know what I mean, they're not firing on all cylinders, they should have gone up in second, but they're in the playoffs, might be good to get them in the playoffs. And also, I think Swansea were winning at Middlesbrough and it ended up losing 3-1. That's not good. And then the last game of the weekend, Norwich versus Sunderland tomorrow. So we know we want Sunderland to win that game. And here's how the table stands right now. We're on 6 with 57 points. Our goal difference is +8. And we have 10 games left. 10 games. We played 36 games. There's 10 games left. Quite amazingly, we have 6 games at home, 4 games away. So that is an advantage to us. The only team above us who didn't get a good result is Blackburn. They lost on Friday night, which is good. And next up for us is a trip to Swansea, who are in 17th place. They've drawn 1 game in their last 5. And their last couple of games, obviously they lost at home to Middlesbrough today, 3-1. They lost away at Luton. They drew 1-1 with Rotherham at home. They lost at home to Stoke, and they lost away to Blackburn. So maybe if we beat them, they might sack the manager. Might be another one of those occasions. But so yeah, there we go. We're back in the 6. We're back in the playoffs. But all of the teams, they just keep on winning. They just keep on winning. And we'll see what Norwich do tomorrow. But even though Sunderland have lost the last 3, we've got to hope that they get some kind of result. But not looking too good, is it? But whatever happens, it's not over yet. And we go again on Tuesday, again home against Swansea, and then we've got to play Huddersfield. Now these 3 at the bottom, they're 6 point. They're all on the same amount of points in the 6 point drift of safety. It's looking a bit dire for them, isn't it? So there you go. And on that note, thank you for watching, and goodbye.